it's October. I'm pretty excited because it's getting cold outside, kind of. Football's on TV, and one of America's favorite holidays is coming up, and it's Halloween. Ooh, okay. Today I want to explain the origin of Halloween, where it came from, because it's definitely changed since it first was when it first appeared. So, so Halloween originated during the ancient Celtic times. So that was really far back, in Scotland, Ireland, and those places like Northwest Europe. They had this holiday every year called Samhain, and it means summer's end in Gaelic. And that celebrates the end of the harvest season when everything's done, all the plants are done growing. And it was a time for them to stock up for the winter and prepare for the cold coming on. And that led to a superstition that the night before that, October 31st, that was the day when the boundaries between the world of the living and the world of the dead would overlap. And it would make spirits and ghosts, make it easier for them to come to Earth and cause a bunch of chaos. And people believed that on October 31st, you'd have to satisfy them so they would not hurt anything, and to ensure that their people and that their livestock would survive the winter. And so the night before, people would sit around on bonfires and recite prayers and songs and verses while eating and drinking and celebrating. And they also wore masks around to deceive the ghosts into thinking that they were ghosts too. And the festival also included mumming, which is when people go door to door disguised. So they go to their neighbors' houses in disguises so they don't know who they are, and they ask for food, and that kind of led to trick-or-treating, basically. This eventually just evolved into children going door to door wearing masks, but they threatened their neighbors that if they didn't give them food, that they would pull pranks on them. And by the late 18th century, the tradition that falls on October 31st became pretty similar to today's. And mumming became a huge part of the entire celebration, and it almost took over basically. And kids even used turnips and beets carved out and carved little faces on them and used them as lanterns that night. And that's actually a picture from one of the Ireland museums. That's an old turnip that they use. And so the night the name they came up with was All Hallows Eve. That was basically from the Christians. They have a bunch of names for it, but they're usually the same concept. And that ended up being brought to America by the English and Scottish settlers. And the name was shortened to Halloween. And a bunch of the traditions changed, obviously, but we carve pumpkins, not any of the turnips, because we got pumpkins from Europe and brought them here and started making jack-o'-lanterns. We have parties, we decorate our houses, we still have the costumes, but the trick-or-treating involves candy now, and it also has become a really big, it has become economically important because it's a big business now. Halloween sells a bunch of Halloween decorations, costumes, food, candy, movies, all of these things. In 2009, $5.8 billion was spent from consumers on Halloween. So all these movies were being created around the 60s, portraying different scenarios of Halloween, which made it really popular. Now today, Halloween themed movies are really popular, especially the Michael Myers. But yeah. It's interesting to see how like the tradition has changed. We go from basically thinking that there are ghosts, first of all, thinking that you can please them and they can do things for you, like make your crops and all of your food and your people safe, to now just going trick-or-treating and eating candy and scaring other people. But Halloween's history is one of like religious traditions, sacrifices, and folklore. It all seems strange to us, but I thought it was a good thing to know like where this holiday was created, because we still celebrate it today, and that's it. Thank you.